If you guys didn't know, Legends did actually add daily discounts to Zenkai banners, at least to the older ones. So you could probably do these once a day and probably at least give 1 unit to Zenkai 1, depending on how long their Zenkai banner is going to be up. This does not apply to the new Zenkai banners that are currently up or have just recently came out. A really nice thing. Big thumbs up to Legends for doing something like that. They didn't have to do that, but nice that they decided to at least give some, I guess, free to play people options here. No, at least they can get some units to Zenkai 1 just off of doing dailies. And I thought that was pretty solid. Take a look at this Zenkai. I did glance at it before I went to sleep last night. I meant to drop this video last night, but I was knocked, bro. I couldn't do it. Yeah, so there's that. So let's take a look at the stats. The stats, yeah, about what you expect from a Zenkai 7 melee unit. Pretty solid there, Alright, so let's look at the chains. Special move, what does this do? It does massive impact damage now, so that's good. Changes damage modifier. 25% to strike damage inflicted. For 20, okay. That's solid, because he's already a strike unit. Okay. So his green card, what does this do now? Reduce damage sustained by 20 that applies until enemies combo is finished. Also, it gives him another mini damage cut. Okay. Then 20% to strike damage inflicted. Okay. Solid stuff. So that sounds pretty solid. So take a look at this guy's main ability. 40% to strike damage inflicted, -5 to own strike arts cause for 60 timer counts. Okay. That's okay. 60 timer count. That's a good time for that's like the first half of the match. So that's okay. That's solid. Yeah, that's pretty solid. Gradually restores on health each time. Wait, is it cancel? Is it? Nah, it is cancelable. I don't know how I feel about that now. But gradually restores own health each time account for 30 time accounts. Okay. That's definitely a solid main ability. I gotta see how the rest of his kit works. Alright, so he's a god key buffer. This is his god key Zenkai ability. Pretty much 45 to 35%. So a god key yellow unit. So even if you just use this guy for a bench unit for Blue Gogeta, that will be a nice little buff for him, or even for Champa, that would be a nice little bench buff for them. Alright, so applies the following effects to self if own health ratio is higher than the enemies when this character enters the battlefield. Draws a strike arts card next, restores ki by 50% damage. So this was always the weird thing about this Vegeta, right? It like his damage, the first part of his damage always required from the whole like he needed to have what does it say on health ratio? Yeah, his health basically needed to be higher than the enemy's health. So it was always it's a weird mechanic. It's really weird. It could be really hit or miss. So I guess that's one of the things that was his biggest downfall. So I see where they advance upon the rest of his kit. So reduces damage received by 40 until enemy's combo exchange is over. Applies strike and blast attack armor when changing cover. If the enemy is at close range, they will be knocked back to long range. Okay, that was over there. That was always that's pretty much all the same from last time. Activates doing assists. +3 tone substitution can activated. Okay, that really hasn't changed too much. So let's look at one of his new abilities. Rising Fighting Spirit applies the following effects to self after enemy cover is over. Okay, reduces health by 10%, activates twice. Restores health by 10%, activates twice. 30% of the damage inflicted for 20 time accounts. Increase RGRC by 1 for 15 time accounts. So they really, everything is here is like they really want this guy to just come in off a cover rescue just and kind of take a hit, because it seems that's where a lot of his damage is coming from. He doesn't get a lot of damage just for coming straight into the match, right? Not really sure how I feel about that. Let's see. So apply the following effects of self when the battle starts. 20% of damage inflicted cannot be canceled. Okay, that's solid. It's decent. It's a decent number. Reduces damage received by 10%. Yeah, that's a decent number. 50% to key recovery cannot be canceled. Okay, and that's it. So when everything all comes together here and said, not Blue Vegeta, God Vegeta he's solid. All right, I want to say that Obviously, if you're willing to go to as far as get him to Zenkai 6 and get all his abilities, get all his soul bonus panels up, I'll say he'll be just about around the same level, at least damage wise, as Blue Gogeta. But I don't think he's better than LF Blue Gogeta, which was one of the biggest fears. I definitely think you don't. This is one of the Zenkais that you can easily skip, unless this is you really need him for your God key setup. If you didn't put LF Blue Vegeta, if you don't have Chopper or whatever, or maybe if you want to run him on Vegeta family and you want to replace Rage Trunks, I think this guy would be a good replacement option for him as well. Outside of that, if those aren't like your main teams or something like that, well, like especially for Vegeta family, because they need to update a yellow, in my personal opinion. If those aren't really your main teams, and you really don't need that, then I don't really think you need to chase this guy at all. He's definitely one of the more skippable Zenkais. I know everybody was kind of scared and hectic that he might have been like just beyond too broken. Like he definitely, under certain conditions, obviously he will be able to dish out really crazy good damage, but I feel like he's a more of a situational type no damage dealer, right? Where he's going to be like really like only in certain situations he's going to be able to output a lot of damage versus just coming into the match and just able to do a set amount of damage. So take how you feel about that. I think he does have a decent amount of utility, but not the craziest Zenkai we've seen compared to some other ones. Yeah, so that's the first Zenkai of the year, God Vegeta. That's my personal opinion on him. Yeah, I definitely think that you don't need to chase this guy. He's definitely a skippable Zenkai. But like I said, if you really need him for you to finish off a God Key setup, yeah, then you could probably just go ahead and try to get him to Zenkai 6. Because he's definitely one of those Zenkais where you just gotta get him to Zenkai 6 if you want to really utilize him to his full potential. Or yeah, that's pretty much it. So what you gotta think about God Vegeta Zenkai? I think he's solid. I think he's solid. Not the best, like I said, but he's a good. I want to say he's a good 6-man, right? He seems like he's gonna be a good 6-man, a good guy coming off the bench that you may use every other match. But he's not he just doesn't have that dominance compared to some other Zenkais. But there's that. Hey, at least Ella Blue Vegeta does not get a replace. At least he's not getting replaced. He just has, I guess, a better buffer now, but he's not getting replaced. So maybe that was their idea from the beginning. Maybe their idea was never to replace him, but just give Blue Vegeta a nice little extra buffer upon his release, make him feel like he's stronger, I guess, or whatever. So, it's your boy Kaki, let's go. Tell me what you got to think about this. Tell me what you got to think about Zenkai's. This guy Zenkai, your personal opinion on him. Will you be running him? Will you be Zenkai him? And just tell me you guys' thoughts on all this in this video. Was it informative? Was it, I don't know, just give me feedback. Yeah, I'm out.